Melanie Drake was absent-mindedly tapping the pen she was holding on top of the yellow pad that sat beside her daily planner. Not quite 40, and living in the midst of technology, she was still hooked on pen, pencil, and paper. She was convinced the act of writing something down made a stronger connection to one's memory. It was also a popular means of communication among criminals. No electronic footprint. But more on that later. Yes, she had a cell phone. Yes, she kept things in her phone calendar. But for Melanie, that was a backup. As soon as she returned to her office, she would jot down whatever new appointment had been made. Then she would scribble it on the wall calendar that was hanging in her linen closet. If it was in front of her face, there was an excellent chance she would remember. She glanced at her schedule for the day. Routine grammar school guidance counselor agenda. She checked the clock above her door. The yelling, shrieking, laughing voices were about to descend on Jessie Moorer Elementary. Her first task of the day was to maintain order in the hallway. Miss Drake stood outside her office door and greeted the children as they attempted to stampede their way to their classrooms. "Good morning, everyone. Slow down, please. Mind your manners. Be polite." She must have repeated those words at least a dozen times before the early morning bell rang. Every single day. And always with a genuine smile on her face. After years of investigating criminals who clearly didn't follow the rules, she believed bad behavior should be nipped in the bud, meaning at a very young age. She loved being on hand to help shape a new generation of respect and integrity. If she could save one child from a life of felonious activity, then she'd done something good for the world. And that was why Melanie Drake ultimately became a guidance counselor. This was the first year of Melanie's second career. Admittedly, it was a bit unusual for someone to start working in the educational system as they were about to turn 40. Normally, it went the other way around. Teachers and counselors entered the field right after college and graduate work, and after 20 years, they retired or entered a different field or started a small cottage business. But Melanie's prior career had taken its toll on her, physically, emotionally, romantically, and spiritually. Yep, it damaged pretty much everything. But it was a means to an end. Luckily, it didn't end her.